Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over how to set up your garrison slash defense. This is a topic that is quite often confused and a lot of people don't really understand how to do it, so I wanted to cover it. I know I've kind of covered it a tad bit in the previous video, but I definitely want to cover it again today. So the most important thing about setting up your defense is to understand how defense works and then understand what situation you're in for what type of defense you need. So how defense works is your march goes up against your opponent's march, and it goes based off of what troops are in your base. So if you have troops out on your march, they are not included in your defense. So that's important to understand, because if you don't have enough troops for a tile or a full march, depending on how you set your defense up, those tiles or troops might not give you full tiles. It might not even fill all the tiles in general. So you might be fighting with one troop on a tile or no troops on a tile. So that's kind of important to note, and I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. So if I come into this battle against Monkey from my most recent server, you'll see that he only had 68 boats fight me against my full march. So that's important to note, because those 68 boats normally would be a couple, I think he's about a 200 plus march normally, from, if I remember right from the battle. So because of how his garrison was set up to use level 80 boats. Well, he didn't have enough to fill it, but how the game's set up, it tries to fill as many of the tiles as it can to their fullest capacity. So what it ended up doing is, if we watch this first round, you'll see right here, he only ended up having 3 full 20 tiles, and then he had a tile of 8. So that's very, very important to note, and that's kind of the basis of why I'm going to explain how to set up your defense and why. So first thing we need to do if we're on defense is to come in and find our bully. So this guy right here, he is going to be our bully. We're going to pretend that he is attacking us right now. So the things we need to know are our situation. So our situation right now is we are after server, so we have an emergency repair. And the emergency repair works by allowing you to have unlimited Valhalla sent here at all times. So it kind of depends on what you care about Valhallas, if they die, if they get demoted, things like that. But this only works during server, so something to note there. So he's going to be attacking us, and right now we do have emergency repair open, but it's not functioning. So we'll treat this as if it's a normal day-to-day operation. So the first thing you're going to have to do is come into here, find your war hall, and hit the little person above it. This is your war hall. When you come in here, it could look a whole bunch of different ways, but it's important to know what you're doing. So right now we're defending on a regular day, so we're going to click the setup button in the bottom left, and the first thing we would do is select our heroes. So I'm going to choose Katyusha, then I'm going to choose Prime, then I'm going to choose Ben. The order isn't going to matter a whole ton with Garrison. Normally your order does actually matter in your march, but with Garrison it kind of mixes them all up anyway, so it's worth trying, but not always. Next thing you're going to do is make sure you choose your formation that you wish to choose. I'm on Assault, so I'm good there. And then lastly is to choose your troops. So this is the part where I say it's kind of important to understand what you want to do. So if you're going to try to defend and you want to win the defense, so obviously you always want to win the defense, but there's times where you know you're going to get absolutely smashed, and there's times where you know you stand a really good chance to defend. So that might depend on how you want to set it up. Against our bully there, I know I would get my butt whooped. So what I would actually want to do is set up my Valhallas in my garrison. So all you have to do is click the troops you want. If you don't want a certain troop, like I did there, I accidentally hit the green one. I just have to click it and it goes in the first slot available. So this is what the first round of our fight would look like. So it'd be his main march against my march here. Now, say I was fighting already, and I had sent out another march with all these troops. What would happen is the game will automatically try to fill each of these slots with any available troops in the base at the time with the same unit type. So if I was to fight the same battle, just looking down at my troops that I have available, down here, I'd still have these 3 tiles because I have over 60 of my S100s. The problem you would see is I have 20, 40, 49, 59, 68, and I would only have 7 units here, and I would not have this tile at all. So that's how my march would go out, being that I have units set up here. If you want to avoid that happening, what you can do is you can leave it like this. You can just have your heroes here and have nothing set up and hit set. So once you hit set, that's what it's going to use for your first round. You can hit set and it will use your strongest troops. So mine would fill it up with those. So that's how that would work. I don't remember it quite exactly, but I believe it does pull only full tiles for this. So it would pull this, but I might be mistaken on that. So don't quote me on that. But it would pull your strongest troops, so Valhallas, then 82s, then 81s, then 80s, so on and so forth with that. And then what that would do is that would use those. An important reason why I'm telling you to use your Valhallas first if you're going to get smashed when you're in regular settings is because your Valhallas will go to your repair. If you don't put your Valhallas here, they will get demoted and then they're gone. If they go to your repair, at least you have a chance to repair them before they get demoted based upon if you want to demote them, things like that. Now, if we're talking during server versus server, and you're in the same situation where you have somebody that's going to smash you, you would want to set up with all 80s on your first round. The reason I say that is because your 80s are going to fill up your initial emergency repair. So my repair shop's 90. So I would get 90 level 80 tanks in here. And then any Valhallas that got injured in a defensive fight would go into my emergency repair where it's cheaper and an unlimited amount to fit in there. What this does is it allows me to repair for cheaper, save my Valhallas for another battle, or quickly repair just what I want, keep the rest in here so that after the server is over, I can heal these before the emergency repair despawns. So that's kind of how the battle system works and what I would say you set up in each situation. The only other thing I want to say is if you hit more options here, that's the button down in the middle. You want to set this up based upon what you desire. You can set it up so all your army troops are used first, then your navy, then your air force. You can set it up in any order you wish, and you can set up any heroes in any of the slots. The important thing about this is to set up your heroes how you want, and what it will do is, so for army, if you have army as your backup one, after that first round of fight we already talked about, it will use all your army troops, filling up every tile, same way as if you had no troop set from left to right. So, and then navy, then air force, so it will do the same with all of those. So important to set this up just so that your remaining troops have the best available heroes helping fight. You may not think that a 2% damage affects somebody, but it really does over time. Those types of things do add up. But I do hope that this video kind of clears up how to set up a garrison for a lot of people. If you have questions, please feel free to join the Discord and the link in the description and reach out to me. Also, just kind of an update on the contest. I am going to be adding a 2,000 subscriber bonus. So if we hit 2,000 subscribers, then I will be doing a $50 US gift card for Google or Apple. The details are in the description here. I wanted to add that because it looks like 5K might not happen. So by the end of March, if we hit 2K, I will do the 50 also. So if we have both, then it'll be a 50 and 100. But hopefully this video does help you guys fight off your bullies. And helps you get some more defenses where you don't have 6 tiles or 6 troops or things like that, where you're not fighting full march versus full march, because that really does make a difference in this game. So with that, remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and see ya.